Hello and welcome to your 2018 Sagittarius Great Mother Speaks full moon reading. This year it is on May 29th. Great Mother speaks to those of us who are experiencing mama drama trauma. This deck and these readings are specifically designed to offer clarity, balance, and confirmation to those of us consistently and persistently experiencing abandonment or abuse from the mother or maternal figures that impact our lives today. This person could have abandoned us in childhood or could abandon us in adulthood through addictions or through death. This is not about blame or shame. This is about identifying how we feel as a distinct human being from the issues, unhealed issues, traumas imposed upon us in childhood. I am Tammy Taylor, an inner work life coach specializing in mama drama trauma condition, in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. Now, in cases where the mother is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is required. So we talk about that in the readings. We deal with mothers oftentimes who change like the phases of the moon, and so it's difficult for us to distinguish how we feel from our mothers. And so these lunar readings are designed to cultivate, to nurture, and to actually grow and evolve the space within us to have the ability to do that for ourselves. We look at the sidereal, the soul sign. So the sidereal moon sign, this full moon is in Scorpio, in the nakshatra of Anudra, that vivacious, creative, caring, stellar mansion in the sky that the moon will be in as it is reflecting the light of the sun in Taurus in the nakshatra, the beautiful, enhancing, gracious Rohini, this composure riddled, compassionate, devoted, noble energy of the sun. So we look at the soul astrology, the sidereal, to ascertain that soul space. So if you are Sagittarius, that means that more than likely your sidereal sign is in Scorpio, making this your first house, and also your halfway mark of your lunar new year. Be sure to check out in the playlist your lunar new year readings if that hasn't happened for you yet. Stay tuned, because every new moon marks the lunar new year for your new moon sign. So the Taurus lunar new year readings have just been posted, and the Geminis will be coming up. Of course, that is Taurus Gemini with the Taurus in the sidereal. Now, these are posted according to your Western. If you're new with us, want to be sure that you understand that the full moon in terms of Great Mother is really focusing on really paying attention to what those new moon intentions were that you set. We've been doing some readings that focused on those new moon wishes. Great Mother offered 5. It suggested that 10 be a maximum. Want to do some research on that? Go to greatmotherspeaks.info/vlog to see what those suggested new moons readings have been for the last 2 months. We're going to kind of move away from that. As you practice on your own, you gain your own rhythm, you gain your own stance of understanding how that energy works. These readings will make a lot more sense to and for you. With this full moon, we're really looking at the cleansing, purification aspect of what has come forward as a result of your new moon intentions. And so again, you might want to check out what those suggested ones were if you did not set them by Great Mother, and to see what is coming up in your internal life at this particular time as this full moon in Scorpio Sagittarius purifies, cleanses, and really tests the mutual feelings that you have. Now, mutual feelings have to do with, of course, our personal and professional relationships. With the moon reflecting the sun, it's always on the opposing sign that we find that solar energy. So the sun now is in that Taurus and the sidereal Gemini in the Western. So your moon sign attraction will naturally be to someone with that Taurus, Gemini, Sidereal, Western axes. Of course, the Western astrology has to do with our emotional ego energy. Western astrology is an earth-centric astrology, and we do the reading from that place to have a conscious hit from what Great Mother is saying from that deeper space, and you find what resonates best with you. So, with no further ado, here are your May full moon readings from Great Mother Speaks. Virgo, Libra, moon sign people, let's see what Great Mother has for you. This Scorpio Sagittarius new moon is representing 3rd and 9th house energies for you. The moon is in your 3rd house, representing communication, understanding, diplomacy, negotiations. But it is also, because it's a full moon, it's reflecting the sun in your 9th house, which is about your higher knowledge, your philosophies in life, really what you were teaching others or what you were learning, those higher philosophies in life, your higher learning, your higher education. Maybe some of you are going to school at this particular time. And so this full moon light from your 9th house is really reflecting how you are living those higher values through your world of understanding and your inner world of communication. So Great Mother's coming to you and she's saying that you're approaching this full moon with a sense of facing the challenge. There is something from your past that is calling to you that you have new eyes about. Maybe it's a past relationship. Maybe it is mama drama trauma where you have been working out some challenges that you've had with your mother, and now you're coming to some clarity about what really needs to happen in your relationship that you didn't have before. Maybe as a result of mama drama trauma, there is a personal relationship or a past romance that is reemerging that now, in light of the work you've been doing on yourself, you realize there are aspects of this relationship that need to be faced, but you're wanting to do it in a new perspective, in a new light, yet the person that you're dealing with is still caught in the old way. And that's why it's a challenge. So the mother, for example, if that is you, or the mother figure, the managerial figure, someone in that position that you now have a new perspective on because of the internal work that you've done with yourself of higher learning, knowing more about yourself, that has been communicated intuitively to yourself. You have clarity, but this person is still right where they were the last time you had the conversation with them, or a conversation or an interaction with them. That a romantic interest, that spouse or that adult child or that young child is still where they were, and you are in a new place. That's how you're facing this Scorpio Sagittarius full moon, Libra moon people. Now, you have a transformative opportunity to be compassionate with yourself. This is such a tremendous challenge for you to reintroduce yourself to this person, that you may be harder on yourself than you need to be at this time. You may be judging yourself harshly because you do identify with them so much. You do understand where they're coming from now, and you are more compassionate with them. But Great Mother saying you might be a little bit too compassionate. And how can we be too compassionate when we're not kind to ourselves? So the heart chakra crescent moon card has to do with us planting new seeds of ego soul communication. What is it for you, Virgo Libra moon people, that in your new awareness that you've cultivated in the interim of this interaction with this individual or individuals, that has generated such compassion for them that you can now transfer to yourself, that you now need to transfer to yourself in order for you to continue trusting your inner wisdom. You know, sometimes we can go so far with our intuition, can't we? And we can trust it and we can be right on it. It feels so good. And it's like, oh, bam, 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 bam. This is exactly the way I need to be living my life. And then we hit a dead end, don't we? We hit a dead end because something happens that it's not so much that we don't expect, but the outcome is something that we don't expect. You know, we might be open to the exchange, as clearly you are. You're open to the exchange, but because the outcome is something that you don't know, and when we have these intuitive experiences and we hit that dead end wall and we don't know what the outcome is going to be as a result of our courage of facing the challenge, we can that dead end wall stops us, right? That's why it's dead end. And so what Great Mother is saying to you is that there is a law of mystery and divine order that is very active in your life right now, and it's not for you to understand. It's not for you to act in a way that you think that you're going to reground yourself in a particular way in this relationship. What's most important for you right now, Virgo, Libra, Moon people, is that your inner space of communication, that heart chakra again, that ego soul communication is strong. And so again, that Virgo sidereal energy that is very detail oriented, that is really wanting to focus on just, you know, what is your service to others as it relates to what you understand now? What is it that you can share with others that's going to be for the highest good of all, including yourself? That's really the focus in this moment, to get over, around, under that wall. You know, that's the focus now. And so let the outcome chalk it up to the law of mystery and divine order. There's a divine order to how your wisdom, your ego soul communication is working out. This indicates to me that your new moon wishes had something to do with you trusting your inner wisdom as it relates to others, but particularly as it relates to how you share your inner wisdom with your conscious mind. You know, sometimes we can have a barrier between our intuition and our emotions. That's why we use the sidereal and the western. You want to double check your moon sign in the sidereal in the links below, because you may be Libra in the sidereal as well. So you want to check and see which video resonates most with you, because when we do that, divide our intuitional knowing, what we know from that still small voice, that repetitive, loving, kind voice, from that harsh voice, from our conditioning through MDT. We don't let the two kind of cross and let that harsh voice be healed the way that it will through the law of mystery and divine order if we let it. See, there's some things that even though there's a yang energy, we can't do for ourselves. We have to allow the yang energies within us and around us to be activated through our conscious mind, which is yang energy. There are yang phases of the moon. These are yang phases this first quarter moon that has to do with facing a challenge. Accent crescent moon has to do with planting, that sort of thing. And so we have that energy, again, crescent moon, root chakra. This is yang energy that is supporting us. And so you don't have to actually do anything. And so, in other words, stop worrying about the brick wall. Just focus on what you know from that still small voice about your birth mother experience. And she's a soulmate. You know, our birth mothers agree in our soul contract to share the experience of mama drama trauma with us in order for us to grow in self-love and spiritual independence. These are the things that we support each other in understanding in our daily lives, in the real world, in the Mama Drama Trauma support group, the weekly group that we have. If your mother is an addict, in addition to the support group, you definitely want to participate in adult children of alcoholics support groups in your area. But the birth mother card here is telling you that in planting that seed of awareness, that in order to reground yourself, there needs to be an acknowledgement of your inner wisdom about that soul contract. Then that will allow you to have the self-compassion that you need to trust the law of mystery and divine order. This situation, going back to talk to your mother, and she's still in this veiled egoic situation in her mind where you have gained this new soul awareness and you're trying to figure out all this, how to connect with her, but you're hitting this brick wall. Grandmother's saying, forget about all that. Just trust that you know what you know, and be compassionate with yourself as you follow your own yellow brick road, as you take responsibility for your own healing, as you share what you've learned. And some of you, your mothers, will be very open. Those mates, those spouses will be very open to hearing what you've learned in the interim of the last argument, the last blow up, or the last kind of, some of us don't have that, but we just have this kind of distance that we create. They'll be very anxious to know. And again, some of us on the other end of the continuum, we have the addiction, the aggressive kind of behavior there. And so you want to determine where you are in that. Again, the support group is very helpful with ascertaining the dynamics of all of that. But for your full moon reading, what's in the shadow here is Hatar, and that's the pleasure principle. This is not about them. This is about you. This is about those full moon wishes that were encouraging you to trust your inner knowing so that you can enjoy your life, so that you are not running away from yourself anymore, and which is what you have taken heed to and why you're now willing to face the challenge. You've benefited from kind of paying more attention to yourself. You've benefited. Some of you already have more self-compassion for yourself, and you've realized, hey, this has given me even greater inner wisdom, and I am finding myself up against brick walls that are constantly and miraculously, through the law of mystery and divine order, being disbanded and broken down because I'm enjoying myself. Of course, for those of you who are not, Great Mother wants you to know that that is what is available to you should you decide to act on the energies that are supporting you at this particular time. You're dancing with creating your life right now, and in order for you to do that, you have to, with this 3rd and 9th house energy, be very careful about who you allow to speak into your life. This is about your inner wisdom. This is about what you know, what you've learned since your lunar new year, the Libra new moon back in October. This is about that coming into greater expansiveness, and that is the self-creation piece. That's the piece that you are now kind of revising and you're adjusting. So what Great Mother is saying is that, yes, people will want to know what you've learned. And you can decide how you share that. Okay, it's totally up to you how you share that. Trust your gut. What's going to be the best way for you? Is it going to be, a verbal exchange, a communication? Is it going to be you just living it? You just following your yellow brick road? You being demonstrative in the way that you share what you've learned? You have a choice, because these energies are supporting you in whatever that choice is that's going to allow you to be compassionate to yourself. It may not be the most self-compassionate thing at this time to engage in a direct communication, whether people want to hear it or not. You may not feel that you're ready and you're in that space at this time, because what's facilitating you being able to feel comfortable and authentic in your skin, to trust the ego soul communication that's happening for you and not being afraid of outcomes, is just the general acknowledgement that you are loved regardless of appearances. Regardless of how things appear, regardless of how it appears that, oh, she's still behaving this way and she's never going to stop. Again, it's not about her. And we can transfer, the reason we don't talk about this being about beating up our mothers is because, of course, it's not. We love our mothers. We love Great Mother. And all of us do, which is why there's so much denial about mama drama trauma. Nobody wants to, and we shouldn't. The Great Mother, our relationship with our mother is sacred. But what it's about is we transfer those early experiences of abandonment and abuse onto our personal relationships that we have today. And that's how the cycle is perpetuated. We have the same dynamic with our mates that we had with our parents. And so how do you stop the cycle? This is how. We work with the energies that are supporting us. And Great Mother speaks to us about those energies, not only in these readings, but in your own signs and symbols in your life, in your daily life. And that's what she's speaking to here for you, Virgo, Libra, Moon people. Don't overlook that inner wisdom that's always telling you which way to go. She's saying, trust it. No, you're not going to always know what's going to happen, but you can be guaranteed that you're going to constantly be releasing what no longer serves you. And although that might be painful, take responsibility for your journey, because ultimately it's going to garner you the self-compassion that you're lacking right now. You're blaming yourself for stuff. And it's hard for you not to, because the work that's required for you to cultivate self-compassion is this trusting of your inner wisdom. That's the work. And it's kind of painful, it's this yin-yang thing going on. I want the self-compassion, but I don't want to do the work that's required in order for me to cultivate it. But it's showing me here, because you're approaching this full moon with a desire to face the challenge, you are definitely going to do that. And your outcome card is with this waning gibbous moon card, which is a very yin energy. It's right after the full moon. So right after this full moon for you, Virgo, Libra, Moon people, the Adi Shakti energy of this waning gibbous moon in the second chakra, the twist your dream, primordial mother energy, you're going to be getting a lot of downloads from Great Mother. And she just wants you to be ready. Just be ready for those downloads. And how you make sense of the downloads is not by dictating what they need to be, but just by expecting to receive them as they relate to your new moon intentions. So if you didn't have new moon intentions, you want to pull up from your soul space where in this dynamic with this individual or individuals you feel that wall, you feel that blockage between you that is making you feel bad about yourself or have a lack of compassion, and just expect to receive the clarity that you need, that inner wisdom, in order to follow your yellow brick road moving forward with health, happiness, and wholeness. Because that is what the journey is always about, and what our soul contract is always leading us to: living with self-love and spiritual independence. And with that, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info.